This program is basically organized by Sri Aurobindo Society and Vedic Wellness University. I'll tell you that the society was established by the mother. She is the permanent president. In 1960, it was established. Out of its 64 years of long journey, many institutions and individuals contributed for the enrichment of these organizations. It is recognized by, we have the application from the government as the Research Institute of Social Sciences, and also some affiliations to the Scientific and Industrial Research Organization, SIBO, from the Ministry of Science and Technology. And with the blessings of Ma and Sri Aurobindo, the society has more than 300 branches and working on different dimensions, education, culture, health, particularly transforming the society through practical efforts. So we are very glad to that we have recently established the relationship with Vedic Wellness University. It is basically based in Florida, USA. And before we start the program, I'd like to introduce our today's guest, Sri G. Krishnamurthy ji, the president and the founder of the president of Vedic Wellness University. And Mrs. Rashmi ji is the co-founder and vice president of Vedic Wellness University. We have Sri Kaushal Sharma ji, our colleague and trustee, member of the Executive Board of Sri Aurobindo Society. And Mr. Larry is an integral education expert and doing a lot of things, contributing to the research and innovation things. And Charles is part of Sri Aurobindo Societies, looking at the cultural things. I will tell you, in such a condition when globalization has changed the face of the world, and only power to sustain to do something in a unified way. If we are united, we can do many things. So this is basically the spirit, like the mother goal, that the world is preparing for a big change. We do well. So this change is basically the change of human consciousness to united and to live in a harmonious way. And when we talk about the sacred Vedas, it has given us special messages like the one world, one family, and one future. This G20 summit happened in India in that room. And we're really very much thankful to the founder president and the vice president and all the faculty members, and also to the management of Sri Aurobindo Society, especially Vijay Bhai and Kaushal ji, for helping to forming this official environment and building forward for future many future initiatives. This is just a beginning, we can say. We're just putting a seed under the presence of Mother and Spirit. But it will, when the time comes, it will transform into a tree, then it will leaves, flowers, many birds will come, so transformation will be possible. So before we start, I would like to felicitate our guest today. Then I request fortunately to kindly we will proceed. It will be a very innovative session actually. On the theme we have chosen, that is Vedic vision of wellness and sustainability. It is one of the most important topics which needs to be embraced in the contemporary scenario. And of course, I request Bhushan ji to kindly say a few words because we have a meeting before, then we get to join. So then we will proceed.
Namaste, good morning. Glad to be here. And I'm so happy to see this scale between the society and the Vedic Wellness University and growing. Because one of the beautiful goals of Mother and that good health is a sign, an expression of an inner harmony. So when we have harmony within us, then it gets expressed in the law of harmony. And like as a learning from this, a lot of the things that we experience in terms of illness sometimes have our own inner state of disharmony. And it will be wiser to work. It will be wiser to work from that inner state rather than just treat the things from an outside perspective, which is what the typical approaches. Not that the present or the modern approach is not good, but the deeper way of treating any problem is from its roots, and that is where this ancient knowledge can come into of immense value. And I'm sure the amount of research that's going on in Vedic Wellness University, we really hope for some truly meaningful things to emerge from there. And we hope for a beautiful association. Thank you. Thank you.
You see, there's a saying in the scriptures: if you lose your money, nothing is lost. If you lose everything on the earth, nothing is lost. But if the health is lost, so everything is lost actually. So health is basically one of the important factors in our life. If that is okay, everything moves smoothly. So the ancient people, wherever it may be, maybe in India or USA or Germany or France, they have even special emphasis for the, especially the emphasis on wellness and sustainability. So, before many people, like in ancient time, also many people traveled, they crossed the hills, the big oceans, they reached different lands, they spread the message of this ancient wisdom. In the same spirit, what I actually call Krishna Bhaiya, he's just like my elder brother. Although he is the founder president for me, he's my elder brother actually. So Krishna Bhaiya and Rasmi Didi been born in the place of Karnataka, were moved to USA, and they have established this beautiful Vedic University. And they are implementing many things in a more innovative way. And how it can be presented in a more sustainable education through different streams. So I request Krishna Bhaiya to kindly say something and with this introductory video of this Vedic Wellness University, so that you can find a glance what is exactly this university.
Outside public. University offers higher education programs from associated with master's degree to research program from the School of Yoga and Wellness, School of Arts and Culture, School of Vedic Studies. We provide platform to all aspiring artists, professionals, and educators in the wellness and culture segment globally. At Vedic Wellness University, we envision a fusion of ancient wisdom and modern technology. We are committed to nurturing the Guru Shishya Parampara, the time-honored tradition of mentorship, while embracing technological advancement for a seamless learning experience. We have an excellent research team working with the research students, focusing on bringing various application models in the wellness field. We have created an international platform and group social media presence and have reached more than 500,000 enthusiasts in these fields. We are pioneers in wellness education and aim to become one of the best in the world. Over the years, we have successfully launched more than 10 academic programs for all of these fields, and we have associated with many institutions globally. We have expanded our reach by establishing successful chapters in the Bay Area and Texas, and our pre-launch event at New Jersey. Our launch event witnessed overwhelming support, with attendees joining us to celebrate our vision of holistic wellness on a global scale. PW has conducted many programs globally. In our holistic education webinar, University invited many professionals from many educational institutions. Many senior educators participated and discussed the merits of holistic education, being part of the academic programs. Our annual school programs happened at a grand scale online globally. Yoga Swastha Utsava from School of Yoga and Wellness, Nadotsava and Nityotsava from School of Arts and Culture, Sampada from School of Vedic Studies. It is a month-long event participated by various artists globally. In our Nadotkasha and Nrityokasha, various forms of classical music and classical dance are conducted via lectures, discussions, seminars, and interactive sessions with artists and experts. We organized our felicitation event in Dharmasthala. We felicitated important individuals who have made contribution in social, cultural, and wellness sector. Dr. Hegde's 48 years of path-breaking contribution to social, economical, and cultural development of the society is what truly defines his service to the nation. He has pioneered his efforts in providing wellness therapies to major lifestyle disorders through many naturopathy hospitals. He was one of the first person to start naturopathy college in India. Sri Subbu Kota. Mr. Kotaji, founder and chairman of Boston Group, is a senior entrepreneur with broad experience ranging from IT consulting to e-learning services. He has started 50 companies in his journey of 50 years in the United States. Sri Brahmarshi Patriji. Patriji, founder of Pyramid Spiritual Science Association, became enlightened in the year 1979, and since then he's been working to awaken and enlighten each and every individual. Sri Aurobindo Janardhan. Janardhanji is a well-known exponent of Kathakali, Bharatanatyam, associated with Kalakshetra institution. He essayed almost all the major lead roles in Kalakshetra during his uninterrupted 47 years of service at the Kalakshetra institution. Janardhanji was a student, a principal, a dancer, a faculty member at the Rukmini College of Fine Arts, and he retired as a professor when he was 62 years of age. The management committee members of Vedic Wellness University visited Dubai World Expo 2020, an event in which 192 countries participated and showcased their culture and values, their contribution and strengths as a global player. A great international event, one of a kind event which exhibits the potential of each country. We are very grateful to all our patrons and supporters. We appreciate your love and support given to us, with which we have reached new heights. We look forward for a more optimistic year ahead to reach new great heights and accomplish our new goals. Come be part of this. Let's revolutionize Vedic wellness education.
Namaste everyone. Louder, namaste. The last one is. So I just want to thank you, Kishor, Madam, Larry sir, for being here, inviting us to making this program happen here. So I am very happy to see many students here. And Vedic Wellness University basically in summary promoting our culture or globally. So many countries all over the globe. Because what is one of our biggest strengths? What is our strength? Any of you wanted to tell as India, as a nation? Spirituality. What do you people feel? Yes, got it. So our biggest strength is culture. Like maybe now a lot of technology is coming, artificial intelligence, but so because everybody in the world love our culture, because of our culture, uh, India has been recognized. In Vedic Wellness University, what we are doing is we are taking best of India to the world. Best of India is what our culture, yoga and wellness. If you look at classical dance, classical music, spirituality, so all these programs, there is a lot of importance. If you look at the world right now, after pandemic, COVID, especially, everybody is having a lot of mental stress. And if you look at IT, they like, I think many of you might go into careers in IT and many other fields. So you know how to manage your stress levels and keep your health well. So that way you can contribute more to the world. So Vedic Wellness University is producing qualified wellness professionals and spiritual scholars. That way you will be ambassadors of our country later. So each one of you take care of yourself, take your community, people, how they can live well. So my request to you is each of you should participate and you should connect one area you feel your heart says, some may be connected with yoga, other may be Vedic sciences, and maybe somebody in the classical dance, somebody in the music. So that way, wherever you go in the world, like you may go to different countries later after completing your education. So still you will be closely connected to your culture. And so that is a very important, that gives you happiness and keep you well, and that will be your identity also. Like, like if you like look at like next generation. So that's what we are doing, because we have connected with many colleges, schools in other countries. So they appreciate a lot of our culture and our, like ancient wisdom. So in India, it's very important for each one of you to respect our culture and be involved in the programs. So, so we can see like outside, they're all, I have met so many students like of your age, they're all some of them is very dedicatedly learning classical dance, music. Uh, so my request for you is stay connected, whatever you like, in one particular area, try to excel in that program. In addition to your one is career oriented field, other one is passion oriented field. Should have. So that keeps you mentally, physically strong. So that is the strength of our this one. So Vedic Wellness University, we are doing that, like promoting along with the career field, we are promoting the passion fields, what we are passionate about. So I encourage all of you, like even as being students, right now there is a lot of stress is there for students also, because so much you need to study. So these programs will enhance your productivity and keeping you strong, all of you. And you are in the perfect place, Pondicherry, Sri Aurobindo Art. I think the place itself will help you to keep your stress levels down. So that's what I wanted to connect the message. So be proud of what you are, like, like you are representing such a rich culture, and like always respect your culture and like our ancient wisdom. That is a message I will give to each one of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. We are representing the beautiful ideas, especially one of the important aspects of sustainability leads to preservation. Preservation of, when you talk about the heritage and monument, like you can see, there are more than 8,000 languages that being spoken all over the world. But every day, one language is dying because there is no user center. So thank you so much for presenting your ideas how we can preserve this beautiful heritage, and not only preserving the heritage, how we can create some sustainable business by providing quality education and also introducing some job opportunities, how the world is looking in the new sectors. So thank you. Your ideas definitely will work together by one cause. And when I request Mrs. Rashmi is the co-founder and vice president of Vedic Wellness University to kindly report things.
Namaste everyone. Namaste everyone in the dais also. Thank you for giving me opportunity to share my um, ideas today about Vedic wellness. So initially we started this university with the concept of wellness, bringing wellness education. It is very important to stick to our roots. The more we go away from nature, away from culture, I call it going away from our Sanskriti, going away from our Prakriti, we hamper our wellness. So we are inviting illness by doing this, by going away from nature and going away from our culture. So we realize this importance, and COVID has given us an opportunity to, see that we stick on to our roots, especially approach to wellness, the yogic diet, the immunity, how to build immunity. So all these concepts are mentioned in the Vedas itself, like how to have a good living. We are not considering our Vedic with ancient wisdom because of our modern, structure of the education. So we would like to imbibe and build in more Vedic concepts and also provide academic courses from our ancient wisdom Gurukul system. So in Vedic Wellness University, we are having three schools: School of Arts and Culture, School of Vedic Studies, and School of Yoga and Wellness. So in all these three schools, we have structured academic programs from certificate level, diploma, masters, and also research programs. So we encourage our students to take a multidisciplinary approach, combining all the Gurukul subjects. That is, it may be yoga, it may be Vedic, or it may be culture. It is all bringing us wellness. So we have a fusion of multidisciplinary approach in our research programs, and we have around 90 plus research students who have enrolled in our programs. So we encourage professionals throughout the world to take our research programs. We have eminent guides, and we'll be supporting multidisciplinary approach in all these subjects. With this, I would like to end my talk.
Thank you, Mrs. Rasmi Didi, for presenting your innovative ideas how to expand not only the university's activities, but also expanding the knowledges. So definitely we will work together not only with Vedic Wellness University and Sri Aurobindo Society, but also at many colleges, universities, and more specifically the communities. We love to work with the communities. So this is the beginning, and we have to go on to now and actually. So let me say something on this occasion. I think many of the students know to me we met in some programs. I'll tell you, as I mentioned in this, like globalization has changed the face of the world. Is it so? Once upon a time, there was no communication. Like I'll tell you, in 2018, we went to one place called Lansdowne. So I thought it might be a place which is situated in a foreign country, but that was in Himachal Pradesh. So the fellow who was leading us, he told, my village is behind the mountain, and we are crossing the mountain to have some groceries, vegetables, etc. So we do not have that age nowadays because once upon a time it was stone age. We moved from stages to this. So it is basically the digital age, globalization has changed the face of the world. In that process also, education has also changed by introducing innovative models. Like yesterday, I was discussing with Krishna here, when I was a student presenting in a remote village, we that time we know how to eat the fruit by climbing the tree and getting it from the tree, not getting from the market. So we are that kind of experiences we spent our childhood that time. So in a changing scenario, the global education has changed many of the dimensions, new models, innovative ideas, many institutions. But can you think in such a time when all these things were not accessible? And in terms of wellness, I'll tell you one thing. When we talk about wellness, there are two things. If you see in a scientific way, suppose you take the example of a doctor, you will not tell about all this spirit, body, mind, and all these. You tell about these cardiovascular systems, all these systems, body things, they will see what are the diseases. For example, if you click on the Google, just search a disease called cancer. There are limited variations also there. If you click on that part, you will see cancer has also some thousand kinds of variations. You'll be astonished what kind of diseases we have. So when we talk about the wellness and the Vedic vision of wellness and sustainability, when we planned this today's event actually, we thought let us contribute something positively to this discussion. So the topic which we are treating, Vedic vision of wellness and sustainability. So I think the students can anyone tell what the Vedas you mean, what the Vedas are. Can anyone tell? Yes. When we talk about the Vedas, can anyone tell what the Vedas are? What do you understand when we talk about the Vedas? Is it the name of a guru? Is it the name of the scripture? Or is it the name of a representing any of the communities, what exactly the Vedas means? Anything? Yes.
Wisdom or knowledge.
Sanskrit word, which means a system of knowledge. One could answer. Any other inputs? Okay. So you have rightly mentioned, it's very innovative answer what you told. The Veda means wisdom. The Sanskrit words are derived from the roots. It is called from the root. It is be. It means to know. A Veda means knowledge actually. When there is a theory, language theory, many people they discuss about the scientific things. They told when this language was created, one theory was that when the God or Almighty created the universe simultaneously, He gave the language to the people. So there was an argument. If the God gave the language, why the modification was needed? That theory was not accepted. One of the famous scientists, philologist from Germany, his name was Friedrich Maxwell. He gave one theory that was he mentioned that in the beginning the people observed the sounds of the nature, like sounds of the birds, the trees, and the movement of the whatever nature's phenomena. And he mentioned that in the beginning human beings created some roots, like some 500 roots. He has given special number actually. And in that process, the human beings came to know how to create the words or languages, just to express the thoughts actually. Like nowadays, we can access anything. You ask the Google, it will give you some millions of pages what the Vedas are. Articles, books, journals, many things. But can you please refer to those ancient sages, ancient times, when all these things were not available? I would like to quote one of the famous writings of Sri Aurobindo, that is in Savitri. He defines what the Vedas are. He says, there is a book of beings index page. The text and glossary of the Vedic truths are there. Nature's correspondence with the soul are written in the mystic arts of life. So what the Vedas are, especially the Vedic rishis, they observe the movement of the nature, the triple unification of man, nature and the universe, and they quoted from the sacred language what about the nature's phenomenon, what is the movement of life, and what is the purpose of life actually. So when we study the Vedas, it is just like spontaneous revelations, like the scripture said, Yashva Nishrutam Vedas. That means the Vedic seers, they invented these sounds and put it with their secret language. It says, Sakshat Pita Rishaya Brahmana Babu. That means the rishis, they invented that sacred science. And they taught to the next generation through Upadesha. Take Upadeshena Mantran Shabdadu. Like in Gurukul education system, we have there is no education, they don't write actually. Visit any of the Gurukuls, the teacher will teach to the students, will give it in a oral traditions way, and the student also, there is no written exam. Whatever they have memorized, they have to, like the exams, they will tell, okay, you chant the Rigved, first Koimat and the 19 sutras. The execution pattern is like that. So the Vedas are actually four: Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, and Atharved. Four Vedas are there. If you will meticulously study what the Vedas means, Rigved is identified with the book of knowledge. Yajurved is little more applied, that is the book of action. Samaveda is the book of devotion, and Atharved is the book of science. If you study these scriptures, actually, what this my young friend told about Sanskrit knowledge, can you please repeat again what you told? Yes, wisdom. So these Vedas, when we study, you will find different streams of knowledge. It is not mean for the sacred chantings to the gods or to achieve something. They also have spoken about the nature, about the man, the cosmic information of life. But when we talk about wellness and sustainability, you will find several examples. For example, I tell you, in Atharved there is a suttam, it is called Keva Suttam. For the first time, the Rishi speaks about how this human body is formed, what are the different parts. It's more specifically the human anatomy. Which refers to the psychology. This Shiva Shankampa Shukkama Vedic, it talks about the human mind. There are many suttas which speaks about the soul, the breathing practices, the chakras also. I don't know how they invented all this. As I mentioned, a scientist looks the subject in a different way, but a practitioner of spirituality looks in a different way. You can't see the subtle body, only the gross body you can see. So when we talk about the wellness, actually, it is one of the innovative subjects. You see, the first line, what wellness is a modern word with ancient roots. In traditional scriptures, we call it Arogyam. So it has its ancient root, and in ancient civilizations, they traveled from east to west. Some ideas also our ancient people brought from different lands, and also there are continuous movements, especially addressing the wellness challenges. For example, you see in 1960s and 70s, some of the US physicians like Harvard Dodd, Jack Ellis, John Aldrin, Pete Hunter, and others, they started a lot of movements, especially wellness movements happening. But here it was more specifically the part of human life. So when we refer the sacred Vedas or the Upanishads and all these, you'll find a lot of references from the Vedas. You see, before going to the traditional concepts, I'll tell you what is happening in the contemporary scenario and what is our wellness. Can anyone tell what is wellness is? What do you mean by wellness actually? Because we are using the wellness, but what wellness is? Anyone? There's a great connection between wellness and well-being. No, nowadays what is happening, we are much more outwardly 99.9% we are actually representing, but only 0.1% we are inner. Suppose you see nowadays what is happening, we have this mobile devices, and after getting a message, even if I am riding a bike, but I do not have the patience to wait to reply that, I'm riding the bike in one hand and another time to reply them. So what is happening in 99.9%, we are outwardly, our movements are so movement, but we do not have focusing on them. So you see, in this modern wellness concept, they say it is emotional, spiritual, intellectual, physical, environmental, something financial, occupational, and social. If we have all these aspects with us, yeah, we are a wealthy person, we are one of the richest persons. But wellness is something different. Suppose, like, there is a relation between wellness and well-being. It says the relations to intention, actions, and activities, like, has a prominent physical dimension, contributes accessibility to the healthy lifestyle choices and makes. But well-being is something different. Possession of the state of being, that is something different. I'll tell you what Sri Aurobindo and Mother Brown beautifully define. They have defined this wellness things. You see, this is a very beautiful slide actually. Source is a Global Wellness Institute. They have given two things. One is the medical paradigm, another is the wellness paradigm. You see, the medical paradigm, when you go to any doctor actually, what the first question, how you feel? Are you feeling better? Okay, something happened, doctor, give some medicine to you. It happens with you as well. So the medical paradigm says keep better first. But your wellness paradigm, you have to try it. Second is treat and cure illness. But the wellness says maintain and improve health. Suppose if you have any disease, you went to the doctor will give the medicine, cure is there. But wellness says you have to maintain and improve your health. Health is not the physical health, there are other parameters also. This medical paradigm is corrective, but this wellness paradigm is preventive. You have to prevent yourself. If there is no doctor, no medicines, suppose you take the example of the COVID time. There was no medicine invented. Everyone was dying. In the mental state, everyone, psychological, many persons were affected with COVID, will be separated with them. So this wellness paradigm says to have to focus on the preventive. Another is episodic and holistic. Holistic is one of the innovative approaches to maintain our, when we talk about these wellness things. And this medical paradigm is clinical responsibility, but here wellness paradigm is individual responsibility. You are responsible, we are responsible to maintain our own health. Is it so? Or the doctor or our parents, we are responsible for our own health. We have to maintain it. So this wellness says this individual responsibility is much more needed for to maintain this good health. Second thing, this is awareness, but it is integrated into life. It is part of the whole system actually. You see, in modern times, when you talk about the wellness, It says that we have physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental. Someone says we have 8 kinds of personalities. But our ancient people, they spoke about 5 things. The Panchakosha Vidya we talk about. So if you have these parameters, if you are fulfilled, you are a wealthy person. If you have social stability, you have a physical, emotional, things like that. We refer to what our ancient people see. See, this is basically one of the beautiful slides in integral education. What should be our mothers defines about the integral health. In the book of education, Concrete Works of the Mother, it's a beautiful line or line to build on. Education to be complete must have 5 principal aspects corresponding to the 5 principal activities of the human being. The first is the physical, the vital, the mental, the psychic, and the spiritual. Usually, these phases of education follow chronologically the growth of the individuals. This, however, doesn't mean that one of them should replace another, but that all must continue, completing one another until the end of this life. You see, we have a specific time for the words. Not the human beings, the animals, the plant, everyone has a specific time on the world, and there is a responsibility is already fixed what you have to do in which time. So what is the integral health and integral education system? It is only not to focus. Suppose if you have asked a question, you go to the colleges or universities or schools, the answer will be, oh, we just went to the institutions to learn something. We just exercise our brains, but the physical things, the spiritual, the vital things, we are not much more connected. Nowadays, many things are coming up, this physical education, innovative models, many things are coming up. So, how beautifully in this integral education, the first is the physical, vital, mental, psychic, and spiritual. So, the ancient rishis, the Vedic seers, they told about the Panchakosha Vidya, the 5 aspects of the human health. And if we deny all those 5 aspects, something good will happen to us. I'll give some examples to you. You see, this is also some of the good for quotations I have collected from the writings of Sri Aurobindo. When we talk about wellness, we only focus on the physical part. What the mother has written, it is not in the body in itself that it finds its well-being. It is a well-being given in every directions. The physical, vital, mental, psychical, and spiritual things. And a sort of gratitude well-being also, a kind of opening and well-being that has become established. So what is happening when we talk about the well-being or the wellness things, we are much more inclined for the development of mind, but we are not focused. We have a spiritual well-being also. We have a vital health. We have a psychical and spiritual things. And Sri Aurobindo also has written, nature has laws of which the observances leads to or helps well-being and of which the violation is suffering. Even if Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also says, if you not practice the yoga in the proper way, yoga bhavati dukha, it might lead some obstacles, some bad results also. You see, in contemporary scenario, when we talk about this globalization things, you see this beautiful passage in Sri Aurobindo's The Human Cycle, what he has written. The world state will give its inhabitants the great advantage of peace, economic well-being, general security, combination of intellectual, cultural, social activity, and progress. But what's about your spiritual well-being, your vital well-being, your psychic well-being? Because we're not conscious about this. So we are individually responsible for that part. It was the business, particularly the Vedic rishis. You see, when you study the Vedas, there are thousands and thousands of rishis. Like the first Sutta of Rigveda, Rishi Vishwamitra Madhuchandra, he speaks about the science of the fire. Similarly, there are thousands of rishis. They invented this ancient knowledge based on the scientific foundations. Coming to the Vedic part, little bit wellness we discussed. Then when we talk about the Vedas, what exactly it means? Yeah, it's a part of some scriptures, some mantras written in the Sanskrit language. Of course, Sanskrit has even got to many of the languages, we have the similarities. But when we talk about the Vedas, so basically, when we talk about the Vedas, it emphasizes on 2 things. The first one is the Shastram, which imparts the theoretical knowledge, and another was the Prayog, the application part. I'll tell you one beautiful story from the Upanishads. The Svetakatu, he went to a Gurukul and he studied all the Vedas and mastered in many disciplines of knowledge. When he returned from the Gurukul, his father saw that the son is coming with a lot of arrogance and all this. Then he told, I sent my kid to study something, but he studied nothing at the Gurukul actually. Then he tried to test his mind. He asked a question, can you please bring that fruit? His son brought the fruit actually. He told, can you please break it? That the son break the fruit, but he asked, what is there? It is only the seeds are there. Then the father told, can you break the seed? What is there? Nothing is there. He asked a question. If nothing is there, from where this big tree is coming? Then again the father told to the son, can you please bring a drop of some water from the ocean and test it? Oh, it is salty. So can you separate the salt and water? No, I did not know that. So in that Upanishad, he gives a series of initiation how to find the real knowledge actually. And when we talk about the Vedas, what Vaishulji mentioned in the beginning of the Krishna Veda, Sri Aurobindo has extensively written the hymns to the mystic fire, secret of the Vedas, and essays, Vedic and philological studies. You see, here what Sri Aurobindo has given, that I believe the future of India and the world to depend on its discovery and its application, especially the Vedas. Because we have such a knowledge tradition which is not accessible fully, neither we know the roots, nor we are accessible what is happening in the modern world. And of course, the modern education systems, new streams are coming up, ITs, and also nowadays AI is capturing the human minds. You just Google, you will find some thousands of pages of written documents like that. Sri Aurobindo has mentioned, I seek not science, not religion, not theosophy, but the Vedas. The truth about the Brahman, not only about its essentiality, but about its manifestation. And Sri Aurobindo also mentions that the Vedas ought to be the foundation of the Sanatana Dharma. That he appealed to the people that the future generation must access these traditional knowledge systems to apply. Because you see, when Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam once is delivering his speech, he mentioned a title. It was very wonderful. Past meet with the present, and it creates the future actually. If you not respect the past, the future will also not respect us actually. So this evolution process, each and every second, we are moving forward actually, but we have a past, we have a present, we have a future. So this Vedic things nowadays, what is happening in the traditional universities, they are only confined to focusing on some degrees, certificate courses, etc. But apart from these degrees and all this, what these Vedas can contribute to the wellness and sustainability? I'll give some examples. You see, nowadays everywhere it is SDC, Sustainable Development Boards are there. The United Nations has established some 18 boards. You see, the first goal is no poverty. It is not talking about your education, it's about establishment. The first goal is no poverty. So, what is poverty? We only think if you do not have money, you are a poor fellow. But the rule says poverty is not the lack of money, poverty is the lack of resources. If you have the resources, if you know how to utilize them, you can be richer, richest person on earth. The second is the zero hunger. There are billions of people on earth that do not have 2 times food to fill their stomach. So you can find many examples. The third SDG says good health and well-being. It is not saying that you should have a house, you should have money and all this. The first focus is the no poverty, zero hunger, and good health and well-being. This is one of the United Nations mandate, one of the goals. When we talk about the Vedas, especially Vedic vision of wellness and sustainability, they mention about the find the soul which is inside us. The first thing they discovered that the human life is associated with some rituals. We have the physical body, but we have certain components. The spirit we have, the vital forces, the mind, the intellectual consciousness, many things. So, like here is a beautiful quote you see, Albert Einstein saying, science without religion is there, and religion without science is blind. And Sri Aurobindo also refers how this interconnections between spirit and matter. Says that the spirits are looked out through matter scales and matters and within the spirit space. So their main intention was to unite with the supreme consciousness with our inner being. In that process, they invented many of the tools. For example, Albert Einstein has also written, when he read the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we found many of the mathematical repetitions. He invented many of the rules. So in Panchakosa Vidya, in the integral education system, the integral health system, the first is there are the five postures, five layers of our human health. The first is the underlying force, the physical body, pranamaya force, the energetic body. The third is the manomaya force. Fourth is Vigyanmaya, that is the intuitive mind. And the Anandmaya is the blissful body. Do you think we, all of us, we have a mind? Do you agree? We have mind. Everyone, we have a component within us which is called mind. I hope everyone else, we have this. Can you raise your hands? How many people think that we have a mind in our body? Can you please raise your hands? How your body is formed actually? Is it a physical center? What we look at? What is inside happening? I'll tell you today at Balaji Vidyapith, there is a program they have invited me, something on the Indian knowledge systems. So I didn't saw the invitation properly actually. So when in the early morning I opened what exactly I have to say, Krishna, I am an astronomist. The topic is sound of the inner body. So scientifically they are doing. When we talk about this integral consciousness, the integral health, we have few components: the spirit, the body, the vital forces, the mind, and the psyche. There are five elements the rishis have. So the first one is the physical body. Physical body, it goes once it is formed, we require the foods like the physical energy associated with physical health, strength, and immunities. We require a specific kind of food, some exercises, it goes. And how these Vedic people they developed the science of yogic things, other yogic practices, many of the mystic things they developed. By practicing yoga and all the things, we can sustain our body. This is basically the physical part of one. Sometimes you can make like if you are doing the yoga things, the body postures can be maintained in a proper way. So they invented this science. And it's beautiful thing I'll tell you, these Vedic rishis, they observe the nature. Many of the yogi postures, like it is cat's pose, snake's pose, many of the birds and animals they identified. Bhujangasana also, cobra pose is also taken. Second part is the vital part, the pranamaya pose. Actually, we say we have a breathing thing. The breath goes in and goes out. But the Vedic rishis, they develop the five kinds of pranas, that is prana, apana, dhyana, udana, and shamana. Five kinds of movements of the hairs actually. So through the practice of the prana, they mentioned about how you can control your breath. Like we human beings, our respiratory system is so fast. In 1 minute, we respire sometimes 40 times like that. But the animals, their respiratory system is so slow. That's why they maintain in a proper way. So the Vedic people they invented this prana, these breathing practices to control, to regularize our pranic lives. The third thing is your mind, that is the manama approach. Manam is the our manama approach we have in mind. But they developed that we have a consciousness also. In Brahmadharana Upanishad, it speaks about four levels of consciousness: one is Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti, and Dvaya. And the modern translation says it is consciousness, unconsciousness, subconsciousness, and superconsciousness. Like what is the difference between a common man and a scientist? Because the scientist looks the matters in a different way. For example, I will ask a question to all of you: what is water? What is water? It is H2O? We studied in the schools. If you ask what is H2O, it is water. But now the question comes: have you ever asked our mind what will happen if it is H2O, H1 or no one? Have you ever tested in your schools hydrogen to oxygen or have you made some water? Can you see this big ocean? How this big ocean was created? So it is basically the nature's creations like that. So it is the ancient people they developed about the four levels of human consciousness: Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, and the Turiya things. And the consciousness transformed from one phases to another phases. The fourth thing, the began by coach. It is not like that whatever is happening inside us in our process. But the began by coach, the intuitive mind is much more pure than whatever we think. And the fifth thing is that is the anand, that is the bliss states. If you are doing something, suppose if you are studying something and if you are not happy, if you are not getting pleasure, suppose I will tell you today the weather is very pleasant. If a tasty rasam will come, we will feel very happy. Is it so? Sometimes I suppose we get a good dress, good items. Sometimes we visit to the places, we get a good job, a new car came to our house. So the bliss comes. But in human life, the ultimate bliss is to be united with the universal consciousness that is the part of life that is communication. So these are the five principles of the Panchakosh of India. What they mention about this. And three things we need to focus. I'll finish the 2 minutes. The first thing that we have many obstacles also when we talk about this wellness and well-being. The first obstacle is basically from the adhyatmic, which is basically the bodily sufferings and the mental illness. We have many diseases, physical diseases, we suffer some of the mental diseases things. But as ancient people, they mentioned by practicing yoga and all the spiritual sciences that can be maintained. Second is the other whole thing. It is basically caused by the protozoa, the living beings like the wild animals, the snakes, and all the things. It says how we can, you see, this beautiful quotation, this is my mother. What she has written that man has one leg in animality and the other in humanity. At the same time, he is a candidate for divinity. His is not a happy condition. The true animals are better off, and they are also more harmonious of themselves. They do not quarrel with human beings. I'll give you one example. Every morning, some 5, 6 crows come at our house only. So when we keep some food, the crow, what it starts actually hears some sounds. He invites the friends. So once a group of crows come, they start. And how good this is. So what the mother has written, they do not quarrel as human beings do. They do not put on airs, they do not consider same as inferior and keep them in resistance. Third is the adipotic, especially adipotic disease. It's basically the performance obstacles with the daiva fate or unseen forces from the gods. If you study the well-being of the Vedic perspectives, the Vedic spheres made a harmony between the nature and the universal phenomena. They invoke the spirits, they invoke the beings, and also the god, the demons, whatever. They tried to create a harmonious thing. So when we talk about the wellness, especially in the Vedic perspectives, including the Panchakosh of India, the 5 layers of human consciousness, these are the 3 obstacles. They also showed the path how you can overcome all this. Nowadays, we talk about this indigenous knowledge systems or Indian knowledge systems. Nowadays, the Ministry of Education, they are bringing new modules for interpreting the knowledge systems by establishing the centers in IITs and universities. IIT Chennai, they have a center for Indian knowledge systems. So knowledge is basically, in somewhere I read Kishor Kumar's writings, there is no national science and international science or no individual science. Science in its nature is universal. So only the individuals or the nation's contribution to explore a particular branch of knowledge for the benefit of human civilizations. So my opinion is, when we talk about this wellness and sustainability, I refer to the Vedas. Especially, we have a strong theoretical foundation, which is available in the Vedas, the sacred hymns, and also more application parts. Suppose we take the effect of the yogins. There are yogins, more application part. The yogi things like we take these alternative medicines. Alternative medicines nowadays, it is Ayurveda, Siddha systems, many things are coming up. And nowadays, much more people are inclined to utilize these yoga systems also. India has did this International Day of Yoga, more than 170 countries accepted this, and nowadays everyone talks about the yoga, about the little kids also, but once upon a time it was a secret science. And for like we have Ayurvedic sciences, and you see we have Siddha system in South India. The Siddha system is very popular actually. But one thing I want to conclude with this presentation, when we talk about wellness, it's not like that wellness means to our wellness only. We don't think about the plants, don't think about the animals. In a sustainable health or wellness thing, we are responsible to maintain the uh, one health system that is basically combined with the animal health and the plant health also, because we are part of the nature. There will be no trees or plants, how we survive actually. So when we talk about these systems, especially the Vedic wisdom, there are thousands of scripture, billions of words and uncountable ideas. And this is one of the famous traditions from Rishi Agastya, that is the Dharma Shastra. This is basically the traditional science of the physical well-being says creation is a cosmic entity. Everything is made of the Pancha Mahabhutas, the human beings you move with, the angels that guard you, the God that you worship, the secret objects of great saints, the sacred sound that you chant, the sky and its celestial bodies, everything is produced by Pancha Mahabhutas. So there is a long tradition of the. Now this is the real slide. You see, the quotation is very interesting. Alvin Toffler says the real parent of the future will not be the person who can read. It will be the person who doesn't know how to learn. Like the Upanishad story I mentioned about you, he was not able to find what is inside the seed. So when we talk about this Vedic wellness, we have a long tradition of thousands and thousands of scriptures. There are millions of rishis. Since the beginning of the creation, they are trying to build the foundation of this integral knowledge systems. And also there are practical applications. You take the example of Ayurvedic sciences, yoga, Ahunan, many things. So now in such a condition where wellness is one of the major challenges, although we have money, although we have everything, but physically, psychological, many persons they are ill when we don't have a good health. And when we talk about wellness, especially Vedic and other things, many of the traditions are interconnected. For example, you take the text of Janda Avesta. Avesta is basically the text of the sacred text of the Zoroastrians. You can find some similarities, the Vedic things and the Zoroastrian things. So a lot of research is needed. It's already going on by many of the councils, the ministry has set up, many of the international things. But nowadays, what is happening, the eyes of the Western people, mainly they're looking at the ancient knowledge systems. And thanks to, it was the dream project, like the mother is our permanent president, she is the guiding force, and society, under the dynamic guidance of the mother and the management, we are initiating many projects and also in the government and local institutions. And now we have partnership with Vedic Wellness University. And I appeal that we want to focus. The first thing we want to introduce some more research projects. We have already discussed. We'll start some projects in a collaborative things. Some programs also will come out some in a collaborative way, and some student exchange programs also. Through these four pillars, the institutional networking, on projects, programs, and outreach activities, we'll try to focus on few things. This was a little summation what I was trying to do. So now I request Larry want to can add some values to this session.
Maybe I just start with a kind of a personal story. So I grew up in the US, and when I was about your age, turning 20, I was looking towards India and Indian spirituality. And I began studying that. And then I came across the teachings of Sri Aurobindo and Mother. And then in her teachings, I knew I had found what I was looking for. And at that time, I was in a dormitory in the university, and I had an Indian roommate in the room with me, and he was very interested in the US and studying technology and things like that. And he's still there, and now I'm here. And each focus, I think, on our individual interests. But I think one of the things that turned me towards India was that I perceived in the West that there was this kind of disintegration. When everybody is going their own way, seeking out their own pleasure, seeking out their own success, their own future in business or whatever it may be, things begin to fall apart on a social level. And I think that the key to wellness, to sustainability, is to find that point of unity that unites us all. That ultimately we have one self. We are all, let's say, part of one family. Or you can take an analogy of a tree. That this tree grows and it has many branches, many individual leaves, many fruits hanging from that tree. But ultimately, it is one tree, and any part of that tree cannot sustain itself independent of the rest of the tree. So it's the same with the sustainability of the human race and the sustainability of our own life. If we only concern ourselves with our individual enjoyments or our individual success or whatever it may be, ultimately then we get disconnected from the rest of life and from the rest of ourselves. Sri Aurobindo speaks of yoga in terms of an integral yoga. It's integrating the entire being. And if we just concern ourselves with just one small aspect of our being, perhaps some amusements or some joy or some financial endeavor, and we lose that connection with our deeper self, which unites us as an individual, but also unites us with other people and with the society in which we live and with nature as a whole, with God. So in a sense, then the secret of wellness and sustainability is finding that point of unity, which we can call God. But what that God is, it could be just an idea, or it can be a feeling that we have with God. In the Upanishads, they speak of it, though, as kind of a fundamental existence, a oneness of existence, but also knowledge, and also strength and power, and also delight. So when we unite with that soul within us, which is that aspect of God that unites us with everything, then we find true strength, true delight and happiness and satisfaction, and true knowledge. The kind of knowledge that looks at things from the outside and tries to analyze it into its components, always misses something, because it misses that inner core of the thing, an inner reality. It sees only that particular fruit or branch, but misses the tree of which it's a part. So that inner knowledge also comes from uniting with our deeper soul. And this is also the secret of culture, of dance, or painting, or music. It's finding that harmony with everything else. Finding that unity with the divine, with nature. So that's what my journey has been, is kind of seeking for that soul within myself. The last 45 years or something, I'm still kind of pursuing that. That is, a concentrated way as I can. But it's a long journey, it's not simple. And there are all these distractions of the outside world that pull us this way or that. But you have to kind of persist in that endeavor, keep focus as much as possible. Gradually, you see some progress in that direction, and you see a greater integration of your being, a deeper contentment and satisfaction with life, a deeper understanding of your place in the world, and perhaps your role, your outer role of work in the world. So that's what I urge you to try.
So I hope all of you have enjoyed this session today. We planned for a small event actually. So we will have a bigger conference. We announced some 6 7 months. We invite some good experts, especially from all the industries and sectors. And then so it was a wonderful beginning today. Yes, yes. So it was a wonderful beginning, and I request all the students. You see, when we talk about the wellness and sustainability things, it's not about the physical environment, psychical, spiritual. After you study, you move for a job actually to apply whatever you have studied. Everyone searches for the job, but where is the job actually? A lot of challenges are there. We can connect with institutions like this. Some new opportunities will come up. The health sectors, the wellness sectors. So suppose you see in US and other European countries, if you know these yogic systems in a better way and you know how to teach, you cannot lack the rupees. Suppose you see if you in Tamil speaking fellow and you know it's better how to teach Tamil in a better way, you can also earn lakhs of rupees. So I am requesting, I know all of you are from the masters, all of them are graduate students or getting master students also getting graduate students. So you may please connect with the such initiatives where maybe you are connected with the Student Society's initiative. We have some partnership more than 75 academic institutions. So maybe we can create some not only the educational things but also the job opportunities also. If you don't know about that, thank you so much for your time.